It's Sean from Worldwide Red Show. I'm back with part 2 of our end of the season series. Right now, we're going to focus on Manchester United's defense. Before I do that, take a moment, hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe if you're new, and get involved with us here at Worldwide Red Show, that place where fans from all over the world can come and have their say. Really a fan channel with a very, I guess we would call it, Yank perspective, because you could tell by my accent I'm from across the pond. Anyway, guys, I just want to say one of the most improved areas of Manchester United from the 18-19, 19-20 season has been our defense. The year before this past season, we shipped in about 50 goals, which was the most we had shipped in since the 70s. I believe it was 77, 78, where we shipped in 63, which is brutal. But anyway, last summer, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer decided to work to shore up the defense by signing 2 major defensive targets. One, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who we lovingly call Spider-Wan, and also Harry Maguire, a.k.a. Slabhead, a.k.a. the guy that just chucked off Leicester to join Manchester, and his head is massive. Here's the thing. We need him to do more heading of the ball. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Overall, United's defense has been much more cohesive, and we've been shipping in less goals this season. However, David De Gea, let's start off in the back with the goalkeeper. I feel like ever since I watched De Gea for Spain in the World Cup, ever since that Cristiano Ronaldo goal flew past him, I just don't feel like I've seen the same Dave. I don't know if it's because people aren't pushing him. I don't care. I don't know if it's the rumors that we hear, or whether it's on social media or on reading, whether we're reading articles or blogs or whatever, that De Gea is kind of comfortable. Something has happened with De Gea, because physically, he hasn't lost a step. He doesn't look slower. He doesn't look any less the crazy keeper that he can be. However, there are things in this game that's always bothered me. I don't ever recall feeling like David De Gea really commands his area and commands the box. I watch other goalkeepers when a cross comes in. For example, someone like Jan Oblak, when a cross comes in, he will wipe people out to get it. De Gea, I feel like, is too reactionary. He's more trying to make the fantastic save every time instead of clearing people out, taking the ball when he should. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what's happened in the last few years, but I feel like his distribution has really continued to go down and down and down. And there are times with playing out of the back, which Ole wants to do, where De Gea will make some bad decisions. And there are times he puts our midfield in trouble. I've watched him pass the ball to Pogba in bad situations. I've seen him pass the ball to Fred in bad situations. There's times where I'll see Dave making a pass, and I'm like, what are you doing? Especially when we're being pressed and we're not so comfortable playing out of the back. Sometimes you just need to go long and direct over the press. That's how Liverpool play. You might not like it. Everyone acts like Liverpool plays Manchester City football. They don't. This year was a lot of route one, very direct, route one, or a long ball out into the channels to Trent or to Andy Robertson. They just spam crosses, or they go direct to the front three. They bypass their own midfield many times. And so it's not like we can't do that. So I don't know why Dave has been struggling with, and his mistakes leading to goals is one of the top in the Premier League. I didn't check the stat. It might be the top in the Premier League this year, and that's not a stat you want, where you have more mistakes leading to goals than any other keeper. And some of the things we've seen from Dave are howlers. I mean, what we saw in the FA Cup semifinal. Anyway, I don't want to have like a flashback and go into meltdown. Let's just say Dave needs to pick it up. He's only 29, I believe. So that's still young for a keeper. I would prefer Jan Oblak. And I know many of you watching this will prefer a keeper we already have in Dean Henderson. I don't know if Dean Henderson is ready for that step yet. It's a big difference playing goal at Sheffield United, especially a team that's just going to play defensive the whole time, than Manchester United, because y'all know this badge is heavy. Anyway, guys, sorry, I'm trying to move myself around here so you can see me good. The light's going crazy where I'm at. But I want to let you guys know, I think that defensively we've really improved, which sounds crazy because, you know, I did a video earlier on this channel on biases and racism, and one of the biases we have is recency bias. And so I don't want to use my recency bias to just go crazy on the defense when it was the defense that really cost us a spot in the Europa League final. We played fairly well that game. We should have won. 2 horrible defensive errors, which I broke down. At least one of them I felt pretty scientifically in the match review, so go back and watch that. But overall, our defense has improved. We've given up less goals. We have kept a good many clean sheets. And the fact is, we're harder to break down. Harry Maguire, I feel like at times was really good this year. At other times, he left me scratching my head. And I feel like, I don't feel like he should have been made captain. I feel like that, while that spurred him on for a minute, I just don't see him being captain first year at United. I didn't like that decision. I also feel like there were times that he looked lost. And I feel like he really didn't come through as the set-piece specialist that he is. But I blame some of that on the tactics, because it doesn't look like we have too many almost set plays to get him open. It just seems like he's running around trying to run and jump over people. And so we have to do better there. However, I feel like that ultimately Harry Maguire is not getting dropped. There are plenty of times this season that Victor Lindelof played better than Harry Maguire, but he's not getting dropped because Harry Maguire is an 80 million pound center back who is now the captain. So he is not getting dropped. We need a left-sided center back, a left-footed center back, preferably, to play beside Harry Maguire, who is fast. Someone to accommodate Harry's weaknesses is that he doesn't have pace. I've watched Harry bully people. I've watched him play phenomenal. And I know this year was up and down, but I'm telling you guys, in my opinion, he's going to be a strong player for us for a long time. I still haven't forgiven the masterclass he put in against us when he was at Hull. So I know what the guy can do. And so I just think he's growing to the shirt a little more. And I think Harry Maguire's going to be fine. I like Victor Lindelof, but let's be real honest. Sometimes positionally, he's not good in the air. He gives up some things. Now, I have watched Victor. I remember when he was playing in the Champions League against Borussia Dortmund when he was in Portugal, and I watched him pocket Ousmane Dembele. So if the ball is played on the ground, European style, Victor is the guy. I think Victor is a solid center back. I just don't think that him and Harry work together for a partnership that's going to push us on to where we're, say, winning Champions League. We can't even win Europa with them because of mistakes in the back that are just leave the mind baffled. So I do like Victor. Here's the thing. I think the best pure center back we have is Eric Bailly. I think Eric Bailly partners Maguire way better than Lindelof. But Eric Bailly is a nutter. He's crazy. He does Cruyff turns in the box and spin moves in trouble and jumps up and throws his shoulder at stuff and gets handball in the box. Eric Bailly, one of my favorite players at United, and he's always hurt. He sticks his head places he shouldn't stick it. He's going to continue to get injuries. He's not the guy that we can depend on. I think he's a great squad player. If we could get money for him, I would sell him. There's a lot of rumors we're in for a left-sided center back. I hope that happens. We need more down the middle to partner with Harry and to have more rotation, because the fact that Harry Maguire played more minutes than any other player in Europe, that says something about him. He's durable. He's dependable. That's a plus. But he was worn down at the end of the season. And so we need to have a better rotation. We need some more squad depth there. And I never want to see Phil Jones play there ever again. I mean, if it's preseason and we get to watch Phil Jones like fall on his face or, do all the stuff that he does, I'm all for it. But I don't want to see Phil Jones anymore. Chris Smalling, we need to sell him. I like Chris Smalling. He's not great playing out in the back. Italy is a much slower league than the Prem, and I think he can extend his career another 5 years in Italy. I think that we should sell him. We owe it to Smalling, in my opinion, to sell him somewhere he wants to be. If that is us losing $2 million, if we're selling him for 17 instead of 20, sell the man. I don't know. I like Chris Smalling, but I just don't see him fitting in going forward. As far as where one of our big problems is in our outside backs. our left back and right back. Now, for me, the player of the year was Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Back when the year was going terrible and we were losing and it was up and down and ollie out, people screaming and singing about burning down the Blazers and the Glazers, building a bonfire and all that kind of stuff. Guys, the one person that always had us smiling was AWB, the Spider. I mean, how he shut down Sterling and different players, and they wouldn't even go to his side because they just knew better. The guy was just solid. However, going forward, you guys know he leaves a lot to be desired. If you could take Aaron Wan-Bissaka and somehow clone him with Trent Alexander-Arnold, you would have like the most complete right back of all time, because one is amazing going forward but doesn't defend well. One is amazing defending and just doesn't do well going forward, but yet he still had, I believe, 5 assists. So if he had someone to play with on the right to make the game easier for him, which we'll talk about that when we talk about the attackers, I believe if we had a Jadon Sancho, for example, I think we'd see a lot better out of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I just remember last year the masterclass he put in, actually in the 18-19 season when he was at Palace against Manchester City, and just the radio the next day, all the pundits just raving about this kid and how he should be in City's team, not Palace's, and all this stuff. But now all of a sudden he's trash. Now he's at United, especially at the end of the year when he struggled, where he didn't always recover well. He was responsible for a few goals. That first goal we gave up against Sevilla, what he's doing, taking up the position he took, that half the pitch. You know, there is deficiencies in his game, but he's young. He's going to grow, and I'm just not worried about his side. I don't think that's something we have to fix right away. So I'm really happy overall with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And if Ethan Laird is as great as everyone says he is, I'm excited to get him in the fold too and push AWB, and we'll have that backup and cover there, because Brandon Williams, for me, just isn't it. I love Brandon. Let's talk about him now. Brandon Williams came through this year. Phenomenal story. The fact that he's chucking Chelsea players into the crowd, I got time for it. I'm all about it. I love it. I think that he's one of those guys that I wouldn't mind being, walking down the street at night and having to fight. I think Brandon would throw down. I like Brandon. I like his attitude. I like how he grinds. Whether or not long-term he's a starter at Manchester United, I don't know. He's very young, so he has room for growth. But right now, I'll be honest with you, right now I don't see it. I think he could be a squad player. Really, if we had squad depth that we need, he needs to be on loan to develop his game, because he has potential to really be one of those consistent squad players. But toward the end of the season, we saw his deficiencies, especially defensively, out of position, what he was doing in that first goal against Sevilla. I have no clue. People will blame Harry Maguire because Harry was looking all over the place, but that's a bad angle they're showing you. If you watch the whole sideline angle, Harry Maguire was marking an attacking play. He was marking one of the forwards coming forward, and when the cross was coming in, he immediately looks to find his guy. He wasn't turning away from the cross. He was looking for where his guy was, trying to play defense. Brandon, I don't know what he was doing, but Brandon doesn't really work on the left for me. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I like him. I think that he's a serviceable player. I think he needs a loan to really grow. But long term, he's not the answer. Neither is the guy that we have, Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, at times, I've seen him play phenomenal. His career stats, I believe, are somewhat misleading because he doesn't get many assists. He needs to get more assists. So, I hate when people use stats for their own agendas and say, well, the stats don't lie, when sometimes they do. Because I've seen Luke Shaw this year. He should have had at least 5 or 6 assists if the strikers could finish at all. They're just stuck there in semi and can't finish. But we ain't got time to go there. I'm going to say this. Luke Shaw, though, is always hurt. His body type, ever since that horrible injury, I feel like when we see him in the summertime at Ibiza and all the stuff he's doing, having a good time, he'll pack on 20, 30 pounds. I think he comes back a lot of times unfit. I feel like that we did miss him tremendously. I feel like if Luke Shaw was there, I think the Europa League would have ended up differently, because some of the goals, to be quite frank with you, were on Brandon. And Luke Shaw is solid back there. He's just not good going forward at times. He partners well with Rashford, but his end product sometimes leaves a lot to be desired. And like I said, I want Luke Shaw to be the greatest left back in the world. I have no agenda. I want him to be. However, it's quite evident that he's going to get hurt every year. It is going to happen. So I would prefer Luke Shaw be fighting someone else for that position. I'd rather, even if we have to keep Luke Shaw and we wanted to go cheap, there was a guy that a lot of people are talking about. I've only seen him when we played against him. Was a Jamal Lewis, is a left-sided left back that got relegated. I feel like we could probably get him cheap to have that rotational situation. I don't know. I just feel like we need better there. But overall, guys, I feel like the defense has improved. I believe it can kick on and do even better. We're going to get into the midfield next, and when I think that even with the right midfield, it will protect and shield that defense even more. Overall, though, there are things to be happy about this year. There are things to celebrate this year. I don't think that AWB or Harry Maguire were bad signings. I think they were good signings. I think the future will say they were good signings. And I'm excited about the prospects going forward. Like I said, we do need some backup there in the center back position. I think we really probably need a first choice left-sided center back. And I think we need later on down the line, we probably need a first choice left back. Because I think Ethan is going to really push AWB. So overall, I'm happy. De Gea, don't want to go there. I don't think it's worth it to replace him right now unless it's with somebody just better than him. Obviously, if you could get All Black in, then yeah, you replace De Gea. Maybe do a swap plus cash deal, but that's not going to happen. So, I mean, it's just fantasy. And all these guys, a lot of these YouTubers, a lot of you, I love your channels and all that stuff, but you guys act like you're playing FIFA. Go get this guy, go get that guy, Donnie Van de Beek, go get him. Who's to say they even want to play for us? We'll talk about that in a minute because we're about to talk about the midfielders. Anyway, guys, you know the drill. If you're new, like, share, subscribe. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from. You celebrate, and you are someone who loves the greatest team on the planet. That's these guys right here. Listen, defense is improved. Let's kick on next year. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think about the defense. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? I can handle it. Let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, this is Sean, and I'm out.